This is a paid program. JJ Publicidad, EMR, and its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guest.
Are you looking for awareness, motivation, inspiration, or just some feel-good talk radio? If so, you've come to the right place. Dr. Nancy knows how to do just that. With her extensive experience and knowledge, she is dedicated to providing care, health, and wellness information and education to the greater Phoenix metropolitan area and beyond. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Dr. Nancy knows. Starts now.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Have you had a fabulous week? I have. Remember, I'm your medical celebrity doctor, and this is Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show, the show where experts, guests in their field of industry, along with celebrities, come on the show to share what they're doing in the community and their journey. Remember, here we're multicultural, and it's the platform that bridges the gap and diversity, and bringing that and uniting that as a nation as a whole. So I just want to welcome everyone for tuning in to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. So happy to have you here. We're super excited. We've got a packed full month ahead, and I'm super excited to let you know who's on the show today. Dr. Komolafe, and she will be on next segment to talk about how behavioral health and integrative technologies are benefiting and paving the way in our healthcare industry. I'd like to thank my sponsors and supporters first and foremost. Emotion Radio, Entre Mujeres here, Javier, Julianne, and Veronica. I couldn't do this show without them. Love, love, love you all for bringing this platform to many, many viewers, not just locally here in the greater Phoenix area, but nationally and internationally. Thank you so much. If you like my makeup, and I just can't leave home without it anymore, it is Maggie Garon. Maggie's Makeup. And this morning, she put on her designer eyelashes. She put them on me, and I feel wonderful. If you like my look, you can have it too. She's a part of my team at Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, and if you're interested for any upcoming events, special occasions, Maggie's Makeup, she works her magic on me. She can be reached at 480-669-6452. Profit Laser Lipo. Hi, Gary. Thank you for supporting me and the show. Really love that. Revision, David Tucker. He is a national aesthetic device company. He and his team. We really appreciate your support. Alley Spine Center. That's Dr. Condon. Thank you. The Laser Spa at Sonoma. That's Peter and Lynn. Thank you guys. Really appreciate what you do for us here at Dr. Nancy Knows. Remember, you can tune in live at Facebook on Dr. Nancy Knows, as well as eMotion Radio, Dr. Nancy Knows at YouTube, on YouTube, and drnancyknows.com. We're also on Spotify and TuneIn for all of you web podcasters. So let's talk about current events. Listen, this month is a special month, and I have a great lineup of entrepreneurial women. It is Women's History Month all month long. I'm super grateful to be a woman and to be honored and proud to let you all know, give you some statistics about what women, entrepreneurial women, are doing in this country. We are paving the way. We are the fastest growing in our industry. We really are. However, there is still much to do. Much to do. We're not paid as much as our counterparts, but you know, our ancestors, our pioneers have paved the way. And you know, we are here, and we're here to stay, and we're here to make a difference and be more impactful in our communities. at large. I do have some quotes that I want to put up, and let's start with one that I want to, it's all about words of encouragement, and anyone can really use these. You'll know the people that feed your soul because you feel good after spending time with them. It's really the small things that matter at the end of the day. You may not always remember a person's name, but you'll remember the way they make you feel. Let's put up the trust one. One more quote. Here we go. Without trust, we don't truly collaborate. We merely coordinate, or at best, cooperate. It is trust that transforms a group of people into a team. So that's a really great segue into COVID and how it's going to take the whole entire nation to come together. And I believe it to be so and true. We are uniting as a nation. We have been dealt such a major travesty nationwide, worldwide, but together we can make a difference, and we are. So let's talk about COVID statistics. I do want to tell you that the social distancing, wearing your mask, staying home when you're not feeling well, is really making a difference along with vaccines. I highly encourage our Phase 1 and Phase 2, so that is first responders, first line workers, department stores, banks, our immune compromised and elderly individuals, get the vaccine. Phase 1 and 2 is off and rolling, and our national leaders are paving the way to ramp up more testing centers nationwide. If you're not sure where to get your vaccine, planyourvaccine.com, and there's our QR code there. You can leave that up for a little bit. If you've got your smartphones, you can take a picture of that, and it'll take you to that website. And anywhere in our nation will tell you what current testing centers are available to you and how you might proceed with that. So check before you go. You do have to have appointments. Cases right now in the United States, 20.9 million currently. The numbers are really down over the last few weeks, so kudos to all of us as a nation pulling together and doing our own part. Now, worldwide, again, the numbers they're down as well, 116 million. Deaths are at 520,000. Worldwide, 2.5 million. Again, those numbers are down. Our hospitalizations in the acute care setting are down. Now, I do want to tell you that there are several mutations with COVID. The UK mutation, the Brazilian mutation, and the Africa mutation. But our leaders, CDC, Centers for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization, our leaders are saying that the vaccines should be enough to prevent death and disease. So let's talk about those vaccines. You know, we've got some great news, guys. In addition to Pfizer and Moderna, we have Johnson & Johnson that got approved, emergency authorization approval this week. And guess what? One of their competitors, Merck, is going to help manufacture these vaccines. How important, how great is that? Teamwork, collaborating together, aligning yourself with like-minded individuals. Together, we can overcome anything. The human species is wonderful, resilient, and you've got the power. That's wonderful. Now, I do want to tell you about Johnson & Johnson's vaccine. It's about 72% effective, but it's 100% effective at keeping you out of the hospital and causing death. And it's one dose as opposed to our counterparts. It takes about 2 doses, actually, Moderna and Pfizer, 2 doses to get the maximum immunity. You know, the vaccine, once an individual gets it, it allows their body to produce antibodies, the good antibodies, immunoglobulin G, IgG. He's the good one. Now, Johnson & Johnson, just 1 dose is all that's needed. and they are producing them currently, and they are going in the arms of many Americans nationwide. So great news. Now, there is some other news here, and it is regarding the restrictions. Many of our states they're laxing the restrictions, so many businesses can start to operate at full capacity. Check your state's regulations with your governor to see who is doing that. But I do want to I just want to encourage you all to continue to We have got a wonderful guest up next. It's Dr. Komolafe. You do not want to miss what she has to say, what she's doing in our community with corporations that are bringing together integrated behavioral health care practices in this new technology in this way. Remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy. Welcome to our clinics. We believe that personalized care and relationship building are the basis of improving health outcomes. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you gain healthcare providers who take the time to understand your health goals and find solutions. We offer optional medical memberships, giving you peace of mind and quality care. We provide both medical and aesthetic services in 2 Arizona locations. We practice the highest standards of patient care. We respect patients' rights. We safeguard patient confidences. We treat patients with compassion. You are invited to call the office to schedule an appointment or online at a time that is convenient for you. Call to schedule 480-669-6452 or visit our website at drnanciesintegrativemedicine.com.
Are you a business owner looking for ways to invest in your staff's health? Their well-being is key to a long-lasting employment life. NG Care's healthcare membership packages allow you to leverage pre-tax dollars and applicable tax health incentives. Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, introducing NG Care's healthcare membership packages to include primary care and injury office visits, management of acute and chronic disease, 24/7 telehealth services, preventative care, labs, immunizations, and chiropractic office visits. You receive discounts on diagnostics and services offered at Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine as a preferred member. Combine this with paycheck protection plans such as accident, short-term disability, hospital bridge, and a life insurance is priceless. 2 plans to choose from, Elite and or Pro. Packages starting at as low as $225 a month. Remember, NG cares about you. For more information, you can go to ngcares.com or call us today at 480-669-6452.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
Welcome back. Listen, everyone, I have a phenomenal guest on the show today, and I am going to do the honor of introducing her. I'm going to read her bio. Dr. Ronke Komolafe. She has a doctorate in behavioral health, master's of business administration, has 14 years of experience managing in the healthcare industry. She is known for her leadership strategies, regulatory affairs, integrated care, and electronic health record expertise. Dr. Komolafe currently serves as the president CEO of Rivers Integrated LLC, a company that provides business and healthcare solutions across the country. Prior to Rivers Integrated, Dr. Komolafe served as Director of Integrated Solutions at NextGen and the Vice President of Compliance and Operations with Topaz Information Solutions right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Dr. Komolafe was the Behavioral Health Administrator at HealthNet Access of Arizona. She was responsible for integrating behavioral health and physical health services for HealthNet members. While working with HealthNet, Dr. Komolafe was assigned to lead multiple projects to improve the quality of care for high-risk, high-cost members and successful patient outcomes by increasing access to care and decreasing the use of emergency room visits. She also served as Behavioral Health Programs Manager with AZ Medicaid, Arizona Medicaid. In this position, she monitored the Arizona Department of Behavioral Health Services and acute care health plans, oversight of behavioral health services, and for Medicaid. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. It's
So
nice
happy
to
to
see
have
you.
you here.
Thank you.
You know, when we connected on LinkedIn, I just couldn't believe that you were so close. And, you know, everyone, I'd like to have all my guests in person. And for the most part, I have been able to do so. And, you know, when I asked you to be on the show, you, without hesitation, said, of course I would. And, you know, here at Dr. Nancy Knows, we'd like to edify individuals that are innovative, creative, and are making a difference in our communities. And you are doing just that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you do. You know, the healthcare arena isn't always an easy place to be and work. And when it comes to behavioral health, obviously, you know, the world is riddled with mental illness. And we need more people like you to help with helping healthcare providers in all of their different specialties integrate mental health behavior services and do it justly so that our individuals that have behavioral health issues and concerns, they get the proper care that they need. And that's what you do.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit more about specifically what you do with that, but we'd like to get to know you as well.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. I appreciate that. And thank you for what you do in our community. You're a pillar of support for women, and you're great with your clinic and your integrated practice. So thank you.
Thank you.
So my journey, I have a very international, extensive story, history and journey. I was born in Nigeria, and I came here when I was 20. I had about 2 years. I did my sophomore and my junior, my freshman and sophomore college in Nigeria, and then I transferred to University of Louisville in Kentucky. I graduated in psychology and then moved to Arizona with my best friend. And I decided I was going to go to med school because I majored in psychology pre-med, and I continuously deferred because I was going to go back to the United Kingdoms for my medical degree. After a couple of years, I decided to just get my MBA while I was deferring medical school, something that just didn't feel right about going to medical school. I decided to apply to the Southwestern Naturopathic Medical School here in Arizona. I got accepted.
Nice.
And I decided to shadow the doctors and the students. And while I was doing that, I realized my passion was not being a medical doctor. My passion was in the business operations side of that. And I was just graduating from my MBA, so I decided I was going to go to get my PhD in integrated care, focusing on leadership and management and operationalizing healthcare services. So I did just that. And I've been very fortunate to have great experiences and to have been able to work in great places where I have grown my skills and experiences. That included working in a provider clinic, working with Arizona State Medicaid, working at a health plan, HealthNet Access, working at a software technology company, Topaz and NextGen. And I've had tremendous experience along the way. So.
Well, that's amazing because everyone, I just want to let you know what you think you may be doing in life as you walk down your journey can differ. And, you know, you have to cultivate that small, still voice in you and really be true to that. And just like Dr. Komolafe stated, her path and the way she started initially turned out to be something different. And really just following your dreams and what makes you happy and making a difference. When you are living your best life, then everyone around you benefits, definitely. Who are your mentors, Dr. Komolafe?
My parents, and a really good mentor here, Dr. Burston, Karen Burston. But my dad and mom instilled in us growing up that you can be whoever you want to be. And I saw my parents work hard for us to have the life that we want. Growing up as a child, ever since I was about 5 or 6 years old, my dad would buy us the first January of every year, he would give us a journal and tell us to write affirmations in there for him and for each one of us that we read throughout the year. One of the affirmations that stood out to me was shoot for the moon, and if you fall, you're still going to be one of the lucky stars.
Wow.
And I will always say that to myself growing up, and just how, regardless of what I do, if I'm happy, I'm going to be successful. And that was instilled in me by my parents. My mom specifically is a very strong woman, and growing up, she would always tell us what a man can do, a woman can also do. And coming from Africa, that's very strong, that's very great. She has her bachelor's and master's degree. She had me when she was doing her master's degree. And it was very interesting and motivating to see that despite having so many children, she went back to college to do that. Dr. Burston is in Phoenix, Arizona. She's a psychologist with many, many years of experience. And I have seen her overcome challenges both in her professional and personal life. And the positivity and the strength and the motivation she uses to just get back on is very amazing. And I would typically call her and have her mentor me, walk me through different processes. And she's been a pillar of support for me here. And of course, my siblings. There's nothing like having a support system that can be truthful to you and allow you to be true to yourself. And my siblings have been just that.
That's exactly right. And mentors are invaluable. And the moral of this story is, that's right, shoot for the moon. Inspire yourself. It all starts with your mindset as well. And if you believe you can achieve, you will. You definitely will. And yeah, definitely, have you had to overcome, speaking of Women's History Month, have you had to overcome any challenges in your life being a female along your journey?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yes, I would say almost every woman has, directly or indirectly, has had or will face some type of challenges, career-wise or in their personal lives, and I have, just like everybody else. But one of the things I always tell myself is, I'm going to be okay. Try to find the peace and the lesson in the challenge I'm going through and visualize myself overcoming that challenge. And every time I do that, lean on my support system, I always come through.
That's exactly right.
And I believe in faith and praying, and that always carries me through. Visualization, praying, meditation, being at peace with myself and telling myself, I'm going to be okay.
That's really great. You know, here at Dr. Nancy Knows, we often say make yourself a priority. And you really have to, I coined a new term this past weekend, and I felt really tired and drained, and I started verbalizing that, and I rarely do that. And so I took some time, more than usual, and I came out so refreshed. So the term is relax, recharge, and release. And how amazing is that? Mm-hmm. You have to put yourself first. And again, I've used this analogy before. If you're on an airplane and the oxygen masks drop, the flight attendants tell you, put yours on first before you can help others. And that's exactly what you need to do for yourself as well. In order to live your best life, you need to make yourself a priority. Awesome. Any pitfalls along your journey that you'd like to share?
Yes.
That you've overcome, of course.
Absolutely. I think one of the challenges growing up, I come from a family where my parents are very loving and supportive. And coming all the way from Kentucky to Arizona with just my best friend, and having no family members here was a big challenge for me. First, I have to overcome the cultural challenge, overcome I do have an accent, overcome the racial challenge, overcome being a woman in technology. And one of the things I did was I formed a community of support with my best friend, and we decided to create our own path. One of my path is writing a journal and writing a letter to God about what I want, and writing a letter to myself, telling myself how I'm going to be okay, the steps I need to take, both short-term and long-term goals, and making sure I can overcome that. So when I have those challenges in terms of racial or gender challenge, I try to see the person's perspective. Maybe they need education. Maybe I need education. Maybe they have a challenge they're going through that had prompted them to react or to bring up a situation like that. And putting yourself in someone else's shoes gives you a perspective that allows you to see them as human and allows you to be forgiven. So I being in Arizona by myself gave me an inner strength I never knew existed, gave me a support system I would have never had if I stayed in Kentucky, and made me realize for every situation I'm in, I have to check in with myself and say, what do I need to do to be okay? And I typically would highlight the steps each time. It's different each time, and it has always come through for me.
Wow. You touch on so many points. Consistency, perseverance, challenges, overcoming that inner strength. Wow. So many interesting points. Empathy, putting yourself in one other's position and looking at it from another point of view. Perspective, that's incredible. That's incredibly challenging to do, too, by the way. But again, at the end of the day, we do want self-growth. If you want to grow and evolve, you actually have to change, and you have to step outside that comfort zone, definitely. Those are very, very important steps along the way. And journaling, reflection, goal setting, that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. And maybe someday looking back on your journals and wanting to write a book about some of your life's challenges and your experience through life. It is an experience, and it's a journey. And you tapped in to a number of things with regard to cultural challenges. I love your accent, by the way.
Thank you.
And I too, moved 3,000 miles away, just outside of Philadelphia. My alumni is University of Penn, and I moved here to Arizona, and I only knew one person as well, and I overcame. And that wasn't the biggest challenge for me. The biggest challenge for me was stepping outside and becoming an entrepreneurial and believing in myself that I knew I had what it took. But I fell a number of times along the way. And I tell everyone, it is okay to fail. It's what you do after you go through that. What have you learned from that? So it's a win and a learn, not a win and a loss. And it's all about perspective at the end of the day. That's truly great, truly great. Legacies. Let's talk about legacies. What do you hope to leave behind these footprints that you are making?
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. That's a very interesting question. My legacy is still evolving. My career is evolving. My personal life, professional life, family life is evolving. So my legacy continues to evolve, but I do hope my legacy is in integrated care. Educating people on the importance of having an integrated lifestyle, not just relying on your doctors to treat you as a whole. Having an integrated lifestyle includes managing your emotion yourself, understanding your emotion, having self-awareness, being able to connect with your feelings, and being able to find the way within yourself to have peace. Having peace and being true to yourself is one of the best ways you can succeed in life. So my legacy is going to be in integrated care. It's still evolving. And I have a book I'm writing about emotional wellness and how to stay emotionally healthy and stable, and the day-to-day aspects that has been very helpful for me and my support system on how to stay healthy.
That's really important. So let's talk about integrated behavior health technologies. Yes, let's talk about what it is that you love to do and love to impact the corporations and organizations that you touch.
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. I have great passion for integrated care. Anybody that knows me on a personal and professional level knows that emotional wellness and physical health is everything we need to be successful. They balance out each other. We need both to be 100% balanced for us to be successful, or managed for us to be successful. In terms of my contribution to the integrated care world, like I said, I'm writing a book. I have a couple of articles coming out. But I'm also working a lot with healthcare organizations and healthcare technology companies. One of the things I do is I help them write strategic plans, help them visualize their short and long-term goals, and take action steps to get there. So focusing on strategic planning and business evaluation, and then business process improvements.
Okay.
And how to stay compliant. So when you have strategic plans that you're implementing, how successful are they? And if it's successful, then let's talk about how we can even maximize and improve your success through a business process improvement. And the business process improvement helps you to identify your efficiencies and your area of waste.
I see. So give us an example if an organization would love to have you come in and take a look at some of their practices. What would that look like? What kinds of, what is your ideal client?
My ideal clients are both healthcare IT companies and healthcare provider organizations. So let's take an example for healthcare provider organizations. I would go in and evaluate their financial records. How are you doing in terms of maximizing your profit and your overhead? How are you doing in terms of your patient care outcomes? And then I would go through their workflows, help them do a business evaluation and risk management using Lean Six Sigma processes and principles. Through doing that, I'm able to identify areas of waste, inefficiencies, and help them develop SMART goals and action steps to improve their outcomes and improve their business processes. In terms of IT companies, I've worked closely with IT companies for a very long time, and one of the things I do is help them with their strategic plan by evaluating the compliance and the state and federal policies currently being rolled out or will be rolled out. For IT technology companies to be successful, they have to be a leading contributor to the environment. So one of the things I do is take healthcare policies, interpret it in a technical and business way, work with product management teams to create this product, and evaluate the compliance of the product in terms of patient privacy, payers, and federal and state regulations, and then roll it out to providers.
Okay, everyone, do you understand how important this is? IT, information technology, that's the wave of the future. COVID has thrown us more into technology than we have ever been before. And so she is the doctor of knowing what regulations are out there currently that exist so that your organization runs and operates smoothly for the IT part. And then the integrated part, she comes in to evaluate how profitable your organization is and your throughput processes. How beneficial is that and how effective is that? How critical is that now more than ever? Organizations that are flooded with patients that come in, you need someone that's on the outside to look at it from an bird's eye view and delve into all of what you're doing to make sure that, one, patients are being treated effectively, two, you're getting paid the maximum, dollars for the service, and three, that follow-up is there. So the person comes in, they get checked in, they go through the process, the payers get paid, but Was it effective? Are all parties walking away satisfied and treated appropriately? You know, Dr. Komolafe, there's more to her than meets the eye, and she's very passionate about what she does. And when it comes to behavior health, it's the same exact way. There are hundreds of thousands of individuals with mental health that are in our institutions, judicial system, that have not gotten the appropriate diagnosis and care that they needed, but have been misdiagnosed. And she is working with legislation in the judicial system locally and on a national level to make these policies appropriate for individuals that have mental illness and get the proper care that they need. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.
I don't know that a lot of people know the types of services that you provide because it's always behind the scene, and it makes organizations look really good. And it's almost when I stepped out to open my own offices and practices myself, coming from an Ivy League organization and institution, there were so many things that I took for granted. Opening my own business, having to do so many things on my own, and say, hey, can you do this for me? But it was such an honor to realize and give gratitude and thanks, and where the credit is due, to these organizations that work tireless behind the scenes to allow organizations to run efficiently, clean, and effectively to provide the best care to patients when they access their systems. Dr. Komolafe, thank you so much. Any upcoming projects that you're working on?
Yes, I talked about my book and the articles I'm working on. I do have a couple of webinar presentations talking about healthcare trends, social determinants of health, and how integrated care will be impacted in the digital world. With a healthcare transformation, we're seeing a rapid increase in speed with digital health. So I'm working closely with a couple of healthcare IT companies to ensure that their product is ready for healthcare delivery, and providers can have access to that as new policies are being rolled out with this new administration. So yes, I have a couple of projects I'm working on, mostly with IT companies, healthcare IT companies, and then working closely with policymakers.
Now, how does organizations get a hold of you if they want to hire you on and bring in your team, your services, to come in and look at their structures?
You can go to www.riversintegrated.com, or you can give me a call at 435-212-0873.
All right, awesome. We're out of time for this segment, but we will be right back with more from Dr. Komolafe. We'll be right back.
You don't want to miss what's coming up next, because Dr. Nancy knows. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy. Welcome to our clinics. We believe that personalized care and relationship building are the basis of improving health outcomes. At Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you gain healthcare providers who take the time to understand your health goals and find solutions. We offer optional medical memberships, giving you peace of mind and quality care. We provide both medical and aesthetic services in 2 Arizona locations. We practice the highest standards of patient care. We respect patients' rights. We safeguard patient confidences. We treat patients with compassion. You are invited to call the office to schedule an appointment, or online at a time that is convenient for you. Call to schedule 480-669-6452 or visit our website at drnancysintegrativemedicine.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy of Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine. I'd like to tell you about a service that I offer, ProFit Laser Lipo. Did you know that you could lose up to 2 inches in 20 minutes, no downtime, pain, or surgery? 8 sessions are recommended for maximum results. Call today, 480-669-6452, or schedule online at drnancysintegrativemedicine.com.
You're listening to Dr. Nancy Knows Radio Talk Show. Ask your questions now. Dr. Nancy is listening.
We are back with Dr. Komolafe, and she is the behavioral health information technology guru of the throughput processes of integrated health. And she makes your organization, not only just in the healthcare industry, but also in the judicial system, from an informational technology perspective about it. She makes it better in terms of how best to treat individuals that have behavioral health issues and concerns collectively. And so we're back, and we're going to ask her a few more questions about how does that behavioral health technology and artificial intelligence help with reintegrating individuals that have gone through the judicial system and are coming back into society, being integrated back in. How does your systems help these individuals?
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. I have a client I'm working with who has a software focused on the judicial system. And what this software does is it ensures that clients or people living the judicial system have the resources they need to succeed as they re-enter the community. This resource includes their mental health education, their mental health resources, mental health clinicians. It includes education on how to re-enter and how to follow through based on what's required of them. Everybody has different parole requirements. Everybody has different re-entry requirements. What this software does is it programs what each person needs to do, and it sends them a reminder and helps them gradually follow through. Say, for example, somebody who has been incarcerated for 10 years comes back into the society. The society we have 10 years ago in terms of technology, in terms of culture, has significantly changed. The first few days typically is overwhelming, and without this technology and change, what we are seeing is a lot of people sometimes prefer to go back because it's safe. That's what they know. So with the use and the creation of this technology, the technology helps it break it down for them, helps them understand, here's the education you need. If you have challenges understanding your next steps, you can easily text your resource who would give you guidance on what to do. My client is working closely with counties to ensure that counties have been successful on how they manage their reentry using the software. And we've seen a lot of positive impact and people following through with their mental health as they're coming out of the judicial system, people following through with what's required for them to stay out of the justice system, and people being able to ask for help in order to get the resources they need.
That's so critically important. That's just amazing because it's essentially a roadmap to success after getting out of the judicial system, and it's step by step, using your smartphone device, using information technology to assist an individual through the necessary processes called life. And you're right. This country is ever changing, and technology is no different. And if an individual hasn't been integrated successfully back into society, recidivism statistically is very, very high. And yeah, what do we do as a nation, as an organization, as a judicial system to help keep these individuals out of the judicial system from going back in? Wonderful, wonderful technology. This technology can be useful in many, many different ways. It can be used for, and it actually does, is helpful like in heart failure patients or diabetic education or even nutritional wellness. This technology has been around for a long time, but Dr. Komolafe and her constituents are reinventing and expanding and broadening this technology to a larger group of individuals. behavior health should not be any different. Mental illness is very, very real, and it doesn't just have to be with individuals that are getting reacclimatized back into society. This software technology can be for any individuals that need more structure, that need more assistance, particularly in a time where, we cannot gather in large groups, or, individuals may be not in the city setting, but this technology, most everyone has a smartphone. This technology, individuals can reach out to get assistance, and it gives them peace of mind. Anxiety and depression and post-traumatic stress is very real. Even now with COVID, a lot of individuals, we're seeing increase in post-traumatic stress. We're seeing increases in depression and anxiety. We all need to come together as a nation to help one another, and this technology does just that. Thank you. That's really wonderful. I know that, specializing in certain types of segments and surrogates, judicial system, organizations, any other helpful tips that organizations need, that a service that you provide?
Yes, I help organizations understand healthcare trend by monitoring state and federal regulatory compliance. And what I do is I take the policies coming out, the regulatory information coming out, and I break it down both for the providers and for healthcare technology. So when a provider reaches out to me to get better clarification about the guidance, about the guidelines surrounding digital health or telemedicine, I'm able to tell them based on their practice what's required of them, both on a clinical level and technology level. When a technology company reaches out to me, I'm able to review and evaluate the state and federal regulatory information and break it down in different aspects. I'm able to help them understand what they need to develop, what their sales team needs to market, and how they need to market and monitor those changes, and also work with the product team to make sure the product is efficient for clinical use by providers.
Another critical piece of information, she mentioned telemedicine, telehealth. That's all we're doing nowadays. COVID has drawn a lot of individuals that were not otherwise using this form of communication to be solely the primary source. And Dr. Komolafe, she looks at all of the policies and all the regulations and what's necessary and what you can and cannot do, the types of services that can be treated in this method, help integrate electronic health records and documentation. She does all the regulatory homework, if you will, for organizations. That's critical. When you get on a telemedicine call with a doctor, there's so many things that have to take place before that call ever is brought to fruition. And in fact, many people who have experienced telemedicine, have to sign some disclaimers online before they actually go into the visual waiting or virtual waiting room to be seen by a healthcare provider. So that's how important what she does is. And, we shouldn't take light at some of these things that we never knew existed because they're not apparent. But yes, really like what you're doing, and you love what you do. And I often say, don't choose a career because of value or dollars. Choose a career that you're passionate about and you love, because when you do that, people get the best of you and you grow exponentially. My journey, I talk about my gifts that I was born with, and you don't always know all of them. And, there's a pruning process along the journey if you dare to take that risk. And that is to step outside of your comfort zone. And that's not always easy. And it's not a cakewalk, that's for sure. But when you do that, you discover gifts that you never knew you had. And I don't know about you all, but that's truly amazing to me, to be the best that I can and offer inspiration, motivation, love, hope in all that you do, and that's all free. Dr. Komolafe is no different. She does that. She leads with her heart, and she has passion in everything that she does. How do we get a hold of you if we want your services?
You can go to www.riversintegrated.com or give me a call at 435-212-0873. One of our team members will contact you.
Awesome. Very, very good. So listen, I do want to thank Dr. Komolafe for being on the show, but it's not over yet. She is actually going to stick around, and she's going to do this segment with me. And now,
Boost your awareness, thereby increasing your health and wealth.
as you all know, I have the segment that gives out helpful tips that increase your overall health and wealth. And today's no different. Dr. Komolafe is going to help me with some tips. What do you have for us today?
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. Health for wealth, health and wealth. It's very interesting, and it's a lifestyle, in my opinion. For you to be healthy, you have to live the lifestyle. And personally, I have some steps I take on a daily basis, such as self-reflection, exercising, mindfulness, meditation, and prayers. Because once I wake up in the morning, I check in with myself, how do I feel? And that sets the mood for the day. And putting all of this into practice, it helps me understand the necessity of having emotional health and wealth, physical health and wealth. And when you have those things, it impacts your professional life, which is your professional health and wealth, your financial life, and your financial health and wealth. So one of the things I typically do is I ensure emotionally I'm balanced. And one of the things I do is through reflection, prayers, meditation, and exercise. Some days I do that collectively. Some days I only do my meditation and exercise. On most days, I make sure I do about 2 of those. Praying and exercise, typically, I have to do every day. That helps me stabilize emotionally. And then the next thing is my physical health. I ensure that my physical health is doing well. So integrated care is not all about going to your doctor. Integrated care is also about how you live the lifestyle of emotional and physical health balance, which is checking with your emotion and making sure you're balanced. I always tell myself this through my reflections every morning, my prayers and meditation, that emotionally, if I'm balanced and I'm healthy, then physically I'll be balanced and healthy, and vice versa. And if I am physically and emotionally balanced and healthy, then professionally I'll be balanced and healthy because I have all the resources within me to be successful. And if I'm emotionally, physically, and professionally balanced and healthy, then financially I'm going to be balanced and healthy because I'm coming from a place of passion. And this is something I want for all my clients, to have that integrated lifestyle on a personal level so they can have emotional health and wealth, physical health and wealth, financial health and wealth, and professional health and wealth. And when you have this, it impacts all areas of your life and your success.
Oh my God. So your voice is so soothing, and as you're going through your practices and you're telling us what you do, I'm like visually doing that as well.
Thank you.
And I feel relaxed.
Thank you.
So,
that's
I
my
mean-
goal for everybody.
Absolutely. That's really great. What else do you have for us?
Reflection and self-awareness. I do the self-awareness practice every Sunday morning, where I write my goals for the week and I evaluate my goals for the previous week, and I give myself feedback.
Yes.
Did I achieve all the goals I wrote? Usually I try to have professional and personal goals, and a lot of times my personal goals is based on my family and friends. My professional goals are based on what I want to achieve professionally for that week. And being able to look through those goals and see, did I achieve my goal on a short-term or long-term basis, and being able to give myself feedback. And those feedback are quite interesting. I give myself both positive and constructive feedback. You can do better in this area. This is how you need to improve. And this helps me reach out to mentors and say, regarding a topic that happened last week, this is how I think I handled it. What's your perspective? Can you mentor me on this? And for the coming week, I'm able to look at my goal and say, what areas do I need help with, or what areas do I need to personally improve myself on, and do I have the resources to do this?
Well, that's incredible, because holding yourself accountable, accountability is major. And, when you tell someone something of your goal, they're going to ask you about it. Consistency, persistency as well. Having a routine. It's okay to be spontaneous, definitely that. But having a set routine is structure. And structure is very necessary as well. Speaking affirmations, did you know that when you speak affirmations verbally, your soul, it takes about 6 weeks for that to really take hold before your mind starts to understand it and get it? And so what you say is powerful to yourself and or to others. Speaking, a lot of people don't like themselves, and it's because of what they say and think about themselves. But you've got to change that, and change can start today. It's never too late. Always forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Your sins have been forgiven. Forgive yourself. Today is a new day. The only person that you have to compete with was that person yesterday. That was you. So today is a new day, and take charge of your life and make a difference in your own life first. Put yourself first, and many people will be able to reap the benefits of that. And cultivating that small, still voice, that gut intuition. Women have it. Everyone has it. But growing up, your mom, you say, oh goodness, how did mom know that? Does she have eyes in the back of her head? But, God has blessed the woman with intuition. And that needs to be cultivated as we get older in life, so that, we don't go down the same path. We don't keep making the same trip. Evolution, change is constant. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. And it only takes one. And it starts today. It starts now. Dr. Komolafe, you're such an inspiration. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dr. Nancy.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. So listen, everyone. Next week we have Dr. Jala, and she's an advocate, a woman's advocate, female advocate. She's a refugee, and she's an international law expert. She will be on the show next week to tell us more about what she's doing in the community to give back, what her journey is, and as a woman, what challenges has she overcome? And there has been many. We all have challenges, but this month is special. It's Women's History Month. And we're going to talk about those challenges that women have had. We're going to talk about and celebrate the successes as well. Remember, it's not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. And we'll see you next week. Bye now.
Optimal health requires you to perform at your peak potential. Start today. Be the change you wish to see in the world. This was Dr. Nancy Knows. Thank you for connecting. We're waiting for you on our next broadcast here at EMR, eMotion Radio.
Buhay, buhay, buhay sa Amerika. Mabubuhay ka sa Amerika kahit mahirap ka ha. Basta't kasama mo kababayan mo, maligaya ka na ito sa Amerika. Sa buhay-buhay sa Amerika.
Hola! Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Ria Luz of Buhay-Buhay sa Amerika, live at Entre Mujeres Radio. And magandang umaga Pilipinas at sa lahat po ng panig ng mundo. And also we're now in March and we're celebrating the Women's International Month. So Ate Marilyn, ang aking kasama dito sa radio station, and we have also via Zoom, we now have our Ate Tess Bailon, another co-host of mine who's joining me, ang chair ng Buhay-Buhay sa Amerika Committee. Hello Ate Tess, good morning or good evening.
Good afternoon, Ria.
Oh, good Thank you Ate. Na-excite ako kasi napakabigat ng we have a VIP on our tonight's episode, and Ate Marlene, please greet our audience.
Magandang hapon po, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. It is an honor and a privilege to meet, although virtual, the Mayor of West Covina, Mayor Letty Lopez Viado.
Yes, and Ate I know everyone is excited to hear about our guests, especially we heard so much about her. We heard of West Covina, but we want to know more about this amazing mayor of West Covina. But before we have to introduce our mayor, we also want to thank all our sponsor of today's episode, which we will be sharing with you later on. We have, for our introduction of this amazing mayor of West Covina. She is, from our last episode, the Honorable Mayor Pro Tem of Artesia, California, Melissa Ramoso, shared with us the value of the sacrifices of our Mexican and Filipino pioneers in California that led to the improvement of the many farm workers' lives. And this time, our guest is the first Mexipina descendant of a love story from a Mexican and a Filipina who became the first mayor of West Covina, California. She is not only a historical figure, but also her story will inspire you more when you hear it. So you must tune in until the end to hear her story. Our Honorable Mayor Letty Lopez Viado is no ordinary woman. She's been through so much in her life from childhood and yet managed to succeed and now even become the leader of West Covina and continuing to serve her people. She has the grit and tenacity to improving her life out of poverty and others around her with a heart of service and volunteerism even at a young age. She's also got her master's degree in communication studies from Cal State Los Angeles. Let's welcome without further ado our mayor, the Honorable Mayor Letty Lopez Viado. Yay!
Hi, well, thank you. It's an honor to have me here and join you all. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm excited. I appreciate it's an honor to be here, and I look forward to what it brings.
Well, I should have said that the mayor is also looking like a beauty queen, by the way.
Thank you. So are all you. It's nice to see women here on our Women's History Month. So it's wonderful to see powerhouse women here, and all of you are sitting there as well, and you take on leadership roles too.
Yes, the mayor, as you know, I wanted to introduce to you formally Ate Marilyn Tabamo is a nurse manager as well. She used to be my nurse manager from emergency room hospital where we work. And she's one of the very first who supported us here at Buhay Buhay sa Amerika. And together with Ate Tess Bailon, these amazing two women and many others who comprise the Buhay Buhay sa Amerika committee is what makes Buhay Buhay sa Amerika alive. And as you probably know, buhay means life, and it can be alive and really alive. And these two are one of those many people who supported us. So as you join in tonight, you will learn more about what is Buhay Buhay sa Amerika, and what we do here is to really promote the stories of our kababayan who are thriving here in America. So we'll start with your story, Mayor, and we wanted to hear more about your story. So first, many people heard about West Covina, Ate. You heard of West Covina?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Actually, we attended a wedding there a few years ago. We didn't go around, but it was in West Covina, and we kind of like went to some of the stores there. So that's all I know about West Covina, although I know that there's quite a bit of Filipinos there.
Yes, and
We do have a Filipino town right there on Amar and Azusa, that Manila Way. We have that as well, and all the Filipino food, restaurant, we have Seafood City. They're all there, and all the Filipino newspapers are there. So we do have a good chunk of Filipino community in our city of West Covina.
Yes. Ate Tess, you have anything to add to?
Yeah. It's just that we've been there too many times. My family goes to the Palm, that hotel there by the mountain. Mm-hmm. They play golf, and so I'm a little bit familiar with Azusa and the Manila Way. So my question to you, Mayor, is since the area is very diverse, what's pretty much the population there of the Filipino and the Mexican?
We actually have a high population of Filipino and Mexican, that they comprise of the majority in our city. So they are the majority. The percentage, I'm not quite sure of the exact percentage, but the Hispanics have the highest population in our city. Mm-hmm. And then we have a mixture of the Asians, which the Pacific Islanders consist. So they're probably like second. And as we go down, they said the majority used to be whites. They're actually lower now. So they're not the majority now, they're the minority. So the Filipinos and Mexican is the majority of our city currently.
Wow, thank you.
What's the total population do you think West Covina has?
We have 110,000 population in our city.
Wow,
so we do have a pretty decent sized city.
All right.
Wow.
So
I just wanted to greet as well. People are greeting us way in Facebook and in YouTube. I just saw Jawo seeing how beautiful people are in this show today. And also Sweet Rice Bowl, which is Ate Marietta Stite, says, I'm from San Diego. Lots of Filipinos also.
So San Diego, I love San Diego too. It's close by. We'll drive there and we'll have family vacations there. So San Diego's beautiful, and it's local too.
Yes, I know we have so much fun to talk about California, and we want to hear more about your story, Mayor. So let's start with our first question with you, because may I ask the first question? One thing that stood out when I read about your bio is you mentioned the word poverty, and you are so humble to mention about it. Would you be willing to share that story, and what was your experience about poverty?
Well, my mom is from the Philippines, She was born and raised there. She came in her teenage years. My dad is from Mexico. So he was born and raised in Mexico. So they're both immigrants, and they both came to America for the same goal and reasons why everybody else would come to America. And they had, they met here, and they had me. I was the firstborn child. It's me and my brother. And they tried to strive for the American dream. Unfortunately, my father passed away from cancer, leukemia, and he died when I was only 5 years old. So it's just left my brother, my mom, and just me. And so my mom was just a caregiver. She, took care of the elderly. She's a nanny, housekeeper. So that was her profession. Or she was a housewife. So from there, of course, poverty without the head of household, just us, without, no family, no money. We, used the system of the government assistant, and we actually had to move place to place. We even stayed at a women and children's shelter. So the homeless, I can speak on that because I've experienced that. And growing up without anything, of course, sometimes they say the children can be mean sometimes, bully, tease, and, when you don't have the proper clothing or anything like that, it is difficult when you're growing up. And of course, my mom, education wasn't there. So for me, it was education to go through. I always tell people, because, when they see me, they see a smile, they think everything's great,
Yes.
but they don't know the struggles that, we've been through. So poverty, we had nothing. I've lived in different cities, even in Rampart, LA, the hardest part, even in growing up, I even stayed where our neighbors were gang members.
Wow.
So it was pretty difficult. And there was even a time where we didn't have a bed, stayed at a coffee table because the floor you'd have like roaches and mices. So I've been through it, I've experienced it, but still there's still love and support. So it wasn't all that bad. And I'm here today, and that actually built character. It strengthened me, and I can understand what many people go through. So,
Wow. That's quite an introduction, and we are so inspired by what you become, Mayor. So, Ate Marilyn, do you have any question to the Mayor?
And Mayor, that really is a very inspiring story that you have from the childhood of poverty and then what you have become now. So I think you answered somehow. My next question was going to be, how did you, as a child in a multicultural family, raised and dealt with all these challenges as a child? But you've answered that question. So my next question now is, being the woman that you are, and from the poverty and from all these challenges of a multicultural family, how did you raise up to become who you are now, and manage to overcome all these changes, challenges that came your way and become the mayor of West Covina at this time? So
the biggest one was the spiritual strength, to have faith in something you can't see. To move forward, because everything that I could see, I lost, as a child. You have your doll, you move, it's gone. So that I did have this a strong foundation. I know religious was a big thing in our family, and if we had relatives, so I could go to the uncles, the aunties, go there, spend time a little bit with them. We did have a good support system. And believe it or not, I know when they say, oh, the world can be mean, but there's also good in the world. There's always that one person, whether it's the counselor or the teacher, that shares some supportive words or a supportive direction for you to go. As long as you follow and try and get out of your comfort zone, there are people out there that want to help. And I took the help that was there. And from there, we just moved forward. And that's how we managed to get through the worst, I guess, and just kept striving it with education being the number one. Opportunities, networking, and meeting new people and trying new things and exploring. I always wanted to try something new, even though I wasn't comfortable, I don't know, and I could have failed at it, but you learn from it as long as you learn.
That's beautiful, Mayor. I think we have many more questions to ask the Mayor, and the next one will be asked by Ate Tess Bailon when we come back. So please don't go away. We'll be right back in a few. Thank you, Mayor.
At magbabalik po ang buhay-buhay sa Amerika. Huwag kayong aalis. Nagbabalik ang buhay-buhay sa Amerika ni Rhea Luz.
Hello again mga kababayan. We got the first Mexipina Mayor of West Covina in our show today, and it's so inspiring. If you haven't heard her story, you have to rewind and replay this. We're now on our second segment of Buhay Buhay sa Amerika, and this is Rhea Luz, and we have with me my co-host Ate Marilyn P. Tabamo and Ate Tess Bailon, both of our Buhay Buhay sa Amerika committee. I have the honor of Ate Tess and the Mayor of West Covina, Honorable Mayor Letty Lopez Biado. As I was mentioning earlier, Ate Tess will be the next one to ask the question. So Ate Tess, please ask the question to our Mayor.
Okay, well, Mayor, thank you so much for coming and joining us in this show. We really are honored for you to be our guest today. So the next question I have for you is, being the very first Mexican Filipino mayor of West Covina, have you dreamed of being a politician or be in this position? What was your journey in becoming one?
Thank you.
Ironically, when you're young, your goal is to get out of poverty. So obviously, to dream of a politician, I would never imagine it. I have been doing community service. I love giving back, and I worked at different cities. So it actually, all the things that I did prepared me for this day. I worked, with Pasadena, Monrovia, San Marino. I'm currently a senior director in City of Los Angeles. And so I did all these community work, serving different types of people, different ages. And prior to being elected, I was a community and senior service commissioner for 5 years for West Covina. And someone told me, if a position came up and someone said, why don't you run for office? And I said, oh, politics? I deal with it in LA all the time. Why would I want to get into it? And they said, for that very reason, you'd be perfect for it, because you don't like it, but it likes you, and we know you're proven to do good community work. And so I decided to try to run, and it was difficult. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that nobody sees. It's not all about waving, there's a bunch of door knocking, a lot of phone calls, emails, talking to people. And I won people's hearts by, when they first saw me, they say, I'm not going to vote for you. And then we talk, and then, we had a conversation and then they changed their mind, and it was just interesting to see those things. But it was a very experience that I never imagined, and here I am. I mean, I did always want to be a leader. To what type of leader, I did not know, and it came my way, and yeah, here I am today.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
so amazing.
inspiring journey, Mayor Letty. So since you talk about being the leader, and I know being a leader is difficult, and many times it's one of the lonely path. Who among the past and present leaders you find as an inspiration or hero as a leader?
The current one, ironically, before I ran for office, I had to find a person who was a female, who had a family, and who worked full time. And there wasn't that many. So there was City of Arcadia. She met that category, and I spoke to her, which, it's April Bilardo, and she was a portion of why I decided to run. Another one is Condoleezza Rice, very, strong, classical, powerful, and someone I could relate to. It's very difficult to find someone similar. And then I did say that I go by spiritual values. I do have the Bible, and Jesus is one of them because he's the Word. And in my position, the Word means everything. And how he did things, I like to follow those ways of how he even handled situations with just the Word. And Word is everything. So those
Yes.
are the ones that I value and I appreciate and I liked.
Yes, I could really I could testify how our mayor Letty is a woman of her word. In fact, Mayor, I'm so impressed that one day when I just asked you if I can talk to you before the show, and she managed to. We were I'm thinking she can call me anytime. I said, whenever you have an availability. And you know what? She called me at 10:30 at night because she just arrived from work. And even apologizing for calling if she can still call me this late. And of course, I have to take that opportunity. And I would say, with that, Mayor, I really believe you have your word of honor and you have my vote. If I am going to be your resident of West Covina, I would surely vote for you because you got me on that first call. And so, Ate Marilyn, do you have any question to our mayor?
Yes, Mayor Viado, that's really impressive, the way that you have raised your family and the moral values that you have, the spiritual most especially.
Yes.
But you are also the epitome of someone that as long as you have the perseverance and the hard work and the resilience that you can attain your goal, and you prove that based on what you have experienced in the past as a child and now you have become. Now, as a young family that you have, how do you maintain and manage to be together and still continue the closeness that you have, especially the strengths that your family have, instilled in you? How do you manage to do that in your very busy schedule? And I'm sure that your children and your husband, who we also appreciate for sharing you with us today,
Yes.
manage to become the way it is that you are still together as a family?
I manage the priorities, and like with anything, you have to make the time. So I make sure that when they, we do have family time. When we're together at night, we do talk or we pray together. But we, try to schedule in those moments. I know yesterday my daughter had Read Across America and they invited me in her classroom to speak. I made sure that I said yes, and they're first in priority. So if anything should happen and it's needed, then of course I would put them. But I have a great support system. My husband's great. I have in-laws, the nanais, and then my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They watch them, and we work well. together, and they understand. And the most thing is communication. I explain to them, and they're good too, because they'll help me as well. Like, Mom, can we go help when I did the homeless and foster kids, I did an event for them during the last December. They wanted to be there because they know that I didn't have anything they do, but they want to be part of giving. So I include them in any way I can. And a lot of policies that I make, it's family oriented, so that they can also enjoy and be part of that as well.
And I think it is very, very obvious that your family is very, very supportive of you, because it just shows on the smile on your face that you seem so content in what you do and in your family because of the support that you have. So thank you to you all.
Yes.
It's not easy. It can be hard sometimes and stressful, but just like anything, it has its up and downs, but it's good.
Yes, and I wanted to add one more is for those of you who are on YouTube, our mayor also has a YouTube channel, and I actually get the chance to see how beautiful your daughter's project on her PTA project, which I would commend.
Oh yeah, I just barely put that on, and what I wanted to do on that, and I actually have more that I did with the community.
Yes.
Because I forget a lot of things that I do. I do project, I'm done, and then I go to the next one. And if you ask me, what have you done? I'm like, I don't know. But then I've done so many, but I just forget.
Yes.
But I do remember that one. She did.
Oops, we got.
And we worked together, and it was good. She has to know that she matters as well. And no matter how old you are, even as a child, and everybody matters, and this one, we all matter.
Yes, she made. I did not ask permission when I wish I could put this
you could.
insert.
It's a cute one. She didn't win first place or anything, but she got participation, and it doesn't really matter, because at the end, when she grows older, she can look back and remember. Because even then, she had a broken arm. That one is when I did a film festival. I did a film festival for the first one in West Covina. And she was there, and she was in the jumper, and she broke her arm.
Oh, wow.
And they asked me, well, you have to go take her to the hospital, but you're here. And my husband said, it's okay, just stay, finish your event, because they don't know how to do it. This is the very first event, and you're running this. So that night, they went to the hospital. She had to get surgery, but they waited, and I finished my film festival. Then I went straight to the hospital and stayed with her for the next 3 days when she had surgery. So on that photo, she's like, Mom, I'm on my cast in the hospital. But I go, those are things you remember, because those things happen. And, it's one of those that was good. Yeah, but that was a nice one.
Yes, we will post that video later on. So subscribe to our Honorable Letty Lopez Biado if you're in YouTube, and you'll see so much more activity she has done, including that film it West Covina you were referring, right, Honorable Mayor?
Film it West Covina. Yes. We're starting this year again. It's going to be the third year. It's a film festival, short films. First year was junior high and high school, and last year we had it open to all residents. And last year was Together at Home theme, and this year's Local 11 about community.
Wow.
And they cash prizes. So they like that, and we get to, it's all positive. I want to reinforce positive.
That's the best thing. Ate Tess, do you have anything to say?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's really good to hear, Mayor, that you have all the support system, starting from your family, friends, and the community. But, struggles could come and difficulties could come. And even though with all the support system, I would like to ask you, what is the most difficult and unforgettable life experience that turned out to be your most potent seed to succeed in life?
All right, that's a very good question. But Mayor, the question is asked, but we will be right back for the answer of our mayor. So please continue to watch.
At magbabalik po ang buhay-buhay sa Amerika. Huwag kayong aalis. magbabalik ang buhay-buhay sa Amerika ni Rhea Luz.
All right, mga kababayan, we suspense you earlier for that question that Ate Tess Bailon has thrown to our mayor. And Ate Tess, ulitin mo uli ang iyong tanong sa mayor natin kanina. In your own words.
What is your most difficult and unforgettable life experience that turned out to be your most potent seed to succeed in life?
The biggest one I'd have to say is my father's death. Because if you lose something, you lose a big part of you. And the poverty. Those were the ones that when you don't know what to do, and I'm like, just thinking about it. The poverty and having nothing, it forces you to be creative. It forces you to do things or be creative with what you don't have. So creativity happens, perseverance happens, and you're trying to strive, which I noticed all great leaders, if you read about any leader, they have a backstory of struggles and hardships. So that pain, that loss, it fuels, and it actually moves me forward to, strive for something, and it makes it worthwhile. And, people say, oh, he can just, he'd be so proud if he sees where I am today. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We can relate, Mayor.
It's very good because it's tears of joy. It's happiness. It's wonderful, and anybody who has that, it's great. If you can see where you came from before to today, you would just see, wow, because even me, I can't even imagine that. You look back and you're like, I would never expect a nobody becomes a somebody. And so the good news about this is I don't forget where I came from. So the people I treat today, I will always bring love. So it's good. It's very, very good. It's just tears of joy.
Yeah, it seems like people that have humble beginnings or have those, stories to tell with, like you said, poverty, hardship, seems to be successful later in life.
Exactly. And
there's always a story to tell.
There is. And, people who are spoiled later on, they're disrespectful. And I always tell people, because my husband, he's like the Brady Bunch family. Everything is great and wonderful. My side is like the Jerry Springer family. So, everything you see, like my husband's like, I never seen jail before. So I can speak. And the good news about my background and my upbringing and everything is I can sit here today and say there is nothing you can tell me or nothing you can say that I haven't been through or that I have not seen or experienced. So at the end, it makes me much stronger than anybody out there. So that I have that in me that can never be taken away, and nobody can say you don't understand, because when they say, I'll say try me, because I understand everything about life there is to understand because I've been through it. So there is that seed from the past till today that makes me a much stronger person, and that you can never take away. So and I will remember that, so that the people I deal, because I am a public servant, community service, and I will always make sure that I remember that so I can relate to them, so I can still be relatable, because I do work in Los Angeles and I deal with the people there, the hardship there. I work in East LA, Boyle Heights, so I can still say I still can relate to you, and that I think that's still good. So that hardship and past made me who I am today, and without it, I don't think I could be as strong and powerful to bring this. So yes.
Look at that, Mayor.
You. Yeah. So Mayor, how long you been in the position?
I got into city council in 2018. I just sworn in as mayor last December, so really only 3 months. But with that, I mean, with the community that they've seen, I've been pushing things that I try to think outside the box, and I try to cater to all. So I try to make sure that it's a fair playing field for all, and I don't discriminate. You know, sometimes they'll want to bring down the rich, but we shouldn't. As long as it's a fair play for all. I look at everything on that aspect, and everything that I do will always be try to be fair for everybody. So I don't want to discriminate or put anybody down in, if they're in a position of that. If they want to give, great, but we can always bring in. So yeah, it's only been 3 months, but it's been a lot of work. It takes up a lot of time, and as she knows, somebody said, you're still up at 1 o'clock in the morning, but I feel like, well, while everybody's sleeping, I have time to take care of things. So I know we're just everywhere.
Wow.
You came in the hardest time, which is the pandemic time.
Yeah, and this year it's during recovery. So right now, I know when everybody's like, because they call me, they email me, whether they lost a job. And what I like to do is provide resources and share all those resources so that they can utilize.
Well, Mayor, you inspire so many people. People are watching us in YouTube and in Facebook. Have just been, look at how people are saying. Jawo ILTP Can says, beautiful. Thank you for sharing your life experience. I'm so impressed. Too fast. I could not read. I am so impressed with your spirituality, according to Ate Marietta Stites, Sweet Rice Bowl. And even Dr. Ria Flores Tamayo, she says, shows great, she's very inspired, and she says, this shows great with her job as mayor of West Covina. Oh, I'm actually could not read in here. Mabuhay ang mga Pilipino sa lahat ng panig ng mundo. Bernadette Bercilia Pineda and Ria Flores Tamayo, our Buhay Buhay sa Amerika Committee, are so inspired watching you as well, Mayor. And in behalf of all the Buhay Buhay sa Amerika Committee who are watching all the way today, thank you so much for joining. And please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this episode, because many more should be inspired to support our mayor and pray for her. This is the kind of leadership that we need in this time and age. And I would like to recommend and commend Lani Reliamas Patubo, our show sponsor. Lani, show your hand. It's right there.
He's there. I wanted to see him. There you go. Hi.
Yeah, so Lani, come on here, and so the mayor can hear you. She did not hear your voice. So Lani is one of our Filipino-American National Historical Society, our great researcher here in the Valley, and as well as he's one of those who introduced me to Mayor Letty Lopez Biado. In fact, because of Lani, I got the chance to become a friend of our honorable mayor. Lani, you have a question?
No, I don't. I just want to say thank you for coming on to the show, and it's great to see another Mexipino out there representing.
Yeah, look at that, mestizo.
Hopefully you inspire some of our leaders here to represent in our community. So.
He was so sweet. I remember he reached out. They wrote an article about me on the newspaper, and sometimes I don't get the newspaper. And he told me about it, and he actually sent me a copy of the newspaper. He mailed it, and I thought that was very nice of him. I mean, those little things I greatly appreciate, like those minor little things. They mean a lot. A lot of those little things will mean a lot. So thank you, Lonnie. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, Mayor.
Yes, and Mayor Letty, there are so many people who are so inspired. Even if we are not in West Covina, we are so happy for you being there, and we know you are representing not only the Filipino community but also the Mexican community in California. Ate Marilyn has a question for you or something to say.
Well, it's more of a comment, Mayor. First of all, I, including many others who are watching here on YouTube and Facebook, is very impressed because you have shown your tears of joy. You did not hesitate to do that, and it is obvious that your experience as a child in poverty and now what you have become has really instilled in you and made you the person who you are. But even with you mentioning that your father have gone on when you were still 5 years old, there's a lot that he has instilled in you, and thank him for the person that you are. You're very humble. It is very obvious. You're very down to earth, and your humility will take you a lot of places. Not only that, but you've impressed so many people already as it is. But including that is as a woman and as a leader, you have also instilled in many in the young generation that being a woman can be a leader, because in this day and age of 21st century, even 20th century, we have seen so many women who have come up and become leaders and, in the corporate world and have become executives. And now, with you as one of them, has also become a public servant. And with your humility, it really is a very impressive skill and person that you are. So thank you for your family as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm actually humbled, and I do thank you for sharing, because like I mentioned, when I was running for this office, to find somebody who was similar my background or my situation was almost fair to none. And so now others who can watch this can actually strive that anything is possible. I mean, you can still be in leadership role. You can still, be feminine, because a lot of times they think when you climb the ladder to lose that part. You don't have to. You can still be nice, but firm, assertive, and still be able to do certain things. And I've done that. I've never thought I would see myself as that, but I am doing that, and I'm hoping that others can still keep.
Well, such a beautiful conversation that we should keep going. And I will throw the next question, but it would be after this question would be a commercial. So I'll share this question to the mayor so she can have some answer ready. The mayor, the next question would be: you had experienced so much struggles at a young age and even poverty. What advice you can give to those young people who are losing hope due to poverty or financial struggle at this time? This is a question that you shouldn't miss. The answer of the mayor will be right back after this.
At magbabalik po ang buhay-buhay sa Amerika. Huwag kayong aalis. Nagbabalik ang buhay-buhay sa Amerika ni Rhea Luz.
Hello everyone! Earlier I have asked a very inspiring question, which I'm sure many of you will be inspired to hear from the mayor, her answer to this question. And I asked, The mayor had experienced so much struggles and even poverty at a young age. And what advice you can give to those young people who are losing hope due to poverty or financial struggles at this time? So, Honorable Mayor Letty Lopez Biado, would you be able to give us your beautiful answer, I'm sure?
Yes. Education is my number one priority. And when I mean education is the constantly learning. I mean, obviously I do have my master's degree, but the education in not just learning book smart, but street smart. And listen to all ages. Sometimes your best ideas can come from a child. Sometimes your best ideas could come from an older person. You just never know where your best ideas would be. So the constant listening, networking, interning, meeting new people, and be nice to people because you never know who they could become. They could be your very next boss for all you know. The other thing I would say is increase your faith, spiritual. You don't have, I know some people don't believe in God. No, it doesn't matter what your belief in or what your belief is in, your faith. If you have that inner strength that can help with the hope, to have hope. I mean, I know I say as my spiritual values, faith, love, and hope. Those are the things that do come through. The other thing is always, which comes back to learning, is finding what the resources are there available. I mean, when I was in a child with poverty, I would reach out, see if there's government assistance, financial aid, or anything out there. I know they have like the food stamps or unemployment. Utilize it. It's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed to use it. Remove that pride and take advantage of those resources. They're there for a reason, and anything to help you out of there. And just remember, everything is short term. You will pass. Everything passes, and just be open-minded and just be there and take that in and remove all the negativity and the toxic part. I had to do that because that part, it's only going to bring you down. All the negative talk, you can't. Ironically, for me, when somebody tells me you can never do that or you can't, that fuels me to. That's how I knocked on politicians when I was so tired, and then somebody said something negative about me. I'm like, really? I'm going and knocking on more doors. But you have to find that fire within. That's what I can say pretty much. But it's at the end, it's all you. It's an individual thing. Nobody or anybody can make you do something. I mean, me and my brother or family members, we could all be in the same situation, but how we all get out of that depends on the individual. So I can offer you all these resources, but if you're not going to take it, you're not going to help yourself, then we're not going to go anywhere. So, think about yourself as well, and go from there.
Thank you for that beautiful answer, Mayor Letty Lopez Biado. Such an inspiring mayor. Really,
Yes,
all
it
our
is.
audience in Facebook and in YouTube are just, they love you.
Already.
And they're ready to vote for you.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Thank you. It is, what we do is a thankless job. I mean, when they come to council, they're there complaining, they're there blaming, they're there attacking, and all you get is just like, oh my gosh, all this. And when things are good, nobody says anything because things are good. So I mean, this is what I can let you know, but with a simple thank you, that means the world, because you figure you do all this hard work for nothing, but there is something. But it's just, it makes a big difference when we also hear the good. Everybody hears the bad, everybody hears the negativity, so the good helps. So thank you.
Well, Mayor, you're in Buhay Buhay sa Amerika, and in Buhay Buhay sa Amerika, we always appreciate people. And for today, we wanted to treat you with a beautiful rendition from the best rap duo of Arizona's top rapper. So I want you to sit down, relax, and experience how much we appreciate you, as well as all the audience in YouTube and in Facebook. We have the Balisong Music as our featured artist who will be performing their video. So before the video is played, I'll introduce to you the Balisong Music. is a Pinoy and Pinay hip-hop duo who were born in the Philippines and are now residing in Arizona. They Ray Ray Lafemme and Ralston G, who is now nominated and awarded as the best Ilocano, the other picture. Yes, outstanding Ilocano for 2021, Ralston G, by the Ilocos Times. And Ray Ray Lafemme is another powerhouse. These two combine their styles of boom, bop, and modern cadence to form a unique sound. They write songs you can dance to and also songs that you can emotionally relate to. Their goal is to represent their Filipino culture and make their kababayans proud. This video was done by Jeff Amoranto and David Ayon, titled Barriers by Balisong Music feat. Aliyah Bancod, and this is the video. So sit back and relax, and let's enjoy the music to honor our Mayor Letty Lopez Viado. Take it away.
If only you can see through my heart, you find the reason why I'm making it far. Through my people, had a story in box. Pull up to your block in every corner, every city we march. Hard as a knock, pakitang gilas, let them know who you are. Paying a march to my mama, being the system of laws. Raising 3 kids in America, took a chance to restart. With no priority lanes, the back and forth to Manila, then leaving all that remains. Hoping new land could fulfill us. Finally here, head up like we fear no colors. Freedom revealed more for us, hope that can see no borders. Uray na rigat at yaman kami lahat kakayanin. So when you sit at my table, that ay amin manganin. Go ahead and pass me the kanin, brother, ain't letting you down. Carry the weight that you've been lifting just to get a pound. The struggle worth more than pesos, space up need no explanation. Basta Pinoy ang ugat, you can never break us. Sabi nila hindi mo kaya, ngunit hindi nila alam. Kahit sa hirap may ligaya, ang para sa'yo'y nakaabang. Taas ang noo, walang susuko, laksan ng loob, ipakita. Pawis at dugo ay sakripisyo, di ka nag-iisa, di nag-iisa.
No matter how high, no matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. No matter how high, no matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. No matter how high, no matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. No matter how high, no matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. Yeah.
As a kid, I couldn't understand it then. Why they gotta leave the land time and time again. Puzzle with missing pieces, I couldn't complete it, man. Send balikbayan boxes with empty promises and bitter, parang ang palaya, but I didn't know any better. Pampalaya pala, when wages ain't enough to raise your kids. Sacrifices had to be made in ways of this. If Brunei and Saudi Arabia had the money to pay, you can't deny if it paid the refrigerator full, no tuition late for school. Ain't nothing I can do but hope and pray to see y'all soon. If it was heaven for me, gaano kaya kabigat, gaano kadaming ipon just for you and not to be back. All I had to do was live, but what you had to do was give up. So many birthdays and moments missed. What used to be a kiss, now traumas I have to dismiss. I'm sorry, this had to be your story, but I want you to see who I've become as your glory. Salamat sa sakripisyo nyo, patawad sa kung ano ba naging bisyo ko. I realize everything I've gained is through your pain, but it was never in vain. Now your strength is in great.
No matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. No matter how high, no matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. No matter how high, no matter how tall, when my back's against the wall, I know what I'm fighting for. No matter how high.
All right, Mayor, did you like that?
Yes, I did. It was good. Thank you.
That is balisong music. Our
Music is the soul to
yes,
everything.
and Ralston G and Ray Ray La Femme. The other picture too, you can show Javier. So we can show Ray Ray La Femme, ang Kultura. They even join the Wish exclusive in the Wish bus. We have featured artists in Buhay Buhay sa America because we wanted to promote the Filipino talents here in the show as well. And Mayor, I'm telling you, people are telling how beautiful, not only you are beautiful, but as well as your brain, mind, body, and spirit. And my sister from California, from San Diego, says you got her boat as well. And there's another person who is asking, the last name is Biado, and they're asking, is your husband Filipino or what nationality? So we wanted to recognize Mr. Gary Biado. Can you tell us, maybe you can introduce to us your very supportive and handsome husband.
Gary, are you here still? I love to call him. But yeah, remember, I kept Lopez because that is my father's name, and that's the only thing I have of him. So I kept that, and then I added Viado, which is my husband, and he's actually he was born in the Philippines.
Yay!
He's Kapampangan. I'm going to try to call him over to see. Are you Gary? I don't know if he's camera shy too.
Yes.
I don't know if
we understand, and we appreciate you and your husband.
He's just like, he'll peek in.
Hi, Kuya Gary. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you and your family, and we just want to let you know, I heard you are from Iglesia ni Cristo, I heard. So to all the Iglesia ni Cristo in your area, congratulations. We now understand where your spirituality is coming from.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Kuya, for coming. And with this, Mayor, we have so much things to ask you. I wish we have 2 hours. The 1 hour ran by so fast. So, in behalf of Ate Tess and Ate Marilyn Tabamo, you have anything more to say?
Before you end, do you notice her outfit? This is courtesy of our friend
Ate Wendy Javier. Ate Wendy, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Wendy.
Happy
Yes.
birthday, Wendy.
So thank you, Ate, for
lovely outfit.
Yes, I used to wear the Filipiniana clothes on the show to promote our culture. And so, Mayor, on behalf of all of us here in Arizona, we thank you for joining us, and we hope that all our sponsors of this episode, thank you so much. Best Home Care of Moon Valley, Cleaning Solutions, Kuya Amante Tabamo, the Porex, and Lutong Bahay, Scooptopia, Arizona, and our Lani Rillamas Patubo, and Dr. Pam Sapanta of Heritage Dentistry, as well as UMAC, and Sweet Treats of Arizona, Cecil Rivera Maglalang. Thank you so much for all of you for supporting us. And Mayor, we look forward to see you one more time. And also, this is the next upcoming event, March 19, 2020. I hope that, Mayor, you can join us with these First Ladies and Emerging Leaders at the CSW parallel event at the UN, an intergenerational dialogue, the journey of 1325 and women's leadership. You belong here, Mayor. These are all the First Ladies Summit, and I look forward to inviting you for our next event, maybe on this Women's Summit. With this, maraming salamat po, and may God bless you all. Mabuhay!
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
So
mas buhay-buhay sa Amerika, join us again next time at entremujeresradio.net. Hanggang sa muli, mabuhay!